What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for lineups.com. Let's talk a little Monday night football here. You can see taking a look at the lines here at our friends over at BetMGM. We are currently sitting 11 in favor of the Chiefs at home here on Monday night. 48 is the total. If you think the Commanders get this thing done outright, plus 525 on the money line. So you can get over 5-1 on your money if you believe that there is something out there for them in this. If you don't have a BetMGM account, Lineups is your promo code. Up to $1,500 in your first bet back if you happen to lose that first bet. So $1,500 in bonus bets if that first bet of yours loses with the promo code Lineups. Let's take a look at how these teams are going to go. Speaking of lineups, this is the game status here. You can see Daron Payne questionable, and then the kicker Matt Gay is questionable. But outside of that, we knew Jaden Daniels was out. So outside of Jaden Daniels going with Marcus Mariota here in this one, decent little injury report for the Commanders here in this one. On the Chiefs side of things, you can see Josh Simmons on the offensive line is out, and then Trey Smith on the offensive line looks to be out as well. Doubtful usually means out, especially after 3 DNPs, as you see here on the practice report. So 2 different starting offensive linemen down for the Chiefs here in this one. Take a look here. Get this ad off the screen. Weather report here for Kansas City. This is the day, so we'll slip down here to night. You can see low 50s, no real wind, 5 miles an hour, 10 mile an hour gusts. That's nothing we're really all that worried about. Now, we are likely to see, it looks like some light rain. See that, like percent of probability, just at the 49%, but thunderstorm's only 10%. So it doesn't look like it's going to be heavy at all here in this one. So don't let what you see on TV fool you. You know, sometimes they can make it look like worse than it is. Doesn't look like this is going to be that big of a deal. You can see 0.01 inches of rain. So very likely just to see sprinkles here or super, super light rain as we get down to this one. All right. So favorites just destroyed all week. I'm sure you guys noticed. This is only one game was inside of double digits yesterday. Favorites won covered in, I think it was 8 of the 11 games. And, you know, this Chiefs team seems to be hitting its stride at the right point. Still one of the best offenses in the league. You go to all the advanced statistics and you are still looking at a Chiefs team that is one of the best teams in all of the NFL. I mean, it is crazy that it doesn't matter who's in, who's out, and all of that, just to see how Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are able to function. EPA per play, second overall in the NFL. Success rate, second overall. EPA per drive, second overall. I mean, it's crazy. Really, really, really good stuff here from this team. So you look at the defense that they're going to be going up against in Washington. There should be just a distinct advantage of the Chiefs being able to attack this team specifically through the air, given the personnel that the Chiefs are able to put out there. This team gives up explosive passes at the second worst rate in the NFL. They are 31st out of 32 teams. Of course, explosive pass plays are 15-plus yard pass plays. Now you bring back in Rashee Rice. You have Xavier Worthy as well to go in there. Should have Patrick Mahomes have a couple of really big plays in this one as well, so long as everything holds from what we've seen so far. Pass EPA per play allowed for this Washington defense, 24th on the season. So again, a team that should be able to be passed on by Mahomes and this awesome, core weapons that he's got there. So 11-point spread, 48 is your total. 11 seems about right to me. I think Mariota is probably a top 3 backup in the NFL, would be my guess. So, yes, there's a drop-off between him and Jaden Daniels. I'm not trying to sit here and say that there's not a huge drop-off. But if you're going to roll a backup out, Marcus Mariota would be towards the top of your list of backups that you're going to want to roll out here. And so I think they can keep this thing competitive. And so line seems about right to me. if anything, I might be taking the points with the Commanders, but that would need to get back up towards that 13 number that we saw earlier in the week, and I doubt that it is going to. Lean towards the over. I think the Chiefs just roll on offense, and I think that there's enough there from Mariota to score some points on their side, which leads me to where we are and what I think is just a number that is probably about 15, maybe even 20 yards too short, and that is this passing yards number here on Marcus Mariota. At 189.5, I had it at 205. So pretty decent little edge there for me. And also, if you believe the spread and if you believe that the Chiefs are going to roll in this thing, then you should like this even better, right? Because they will have to get rid of the run game and he will have to be throwing at a much higher rate. And if you look at 189.5, and we can kind of look at what happened here just in week number 8 so far, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of the starters got there. Dak was 2 yards short of this, and Huntley was 3 yards short of this number. So then you go down a little bit further, and it doesn't really matter. It's like Shook and Rattler don't count. They split reps. They were halftime. They played half of the snaps, so it doesn't really matter. Baker Mayfield was in a blowout win. Josh Allen was in a blowout win. You have Jalen Hurts in a blowout win. So it was unnecessary for them to even try to throw the ball more than they had to. So, I mean, you can see just the vast majority of quarterbacks got there this week with a really low number like that. And in a game where if you think that this could go sideways, then you should really, really like this, that Mariota's getting back Deebo Samuel, getting back Terry McLaurin in this game as well. So has a full complement of weapons for him to throw the ball to. So really like Mariota over 189.5. So if we like him over 189.5, he's going to have to throw the ball to someone. Now you would think that I would be gravitating towards one of the big guys there in McLaurin and Deebo, but I think their numbers are set about right. I expect one of them will probably drastically go over this, either 44 or the 40, but I don't know really which one it's going to be. But what I don't think is just because those guys are back in there that it's going to completely phase out Jalen Lane, who was actually getting some decent amount of run whenever they were out of there. We were talking a ridiculously low 10.5 receiving yards for Jalen Lane. We basically need one catch from him in this game. If you look at all the major projection systems out there from all of the people that you would respect in not only the prop betting markets, but in the fantasy industry and things like that do these really sharp projections, everybody has Lane over this. Now that varies from 14 point something yards, but all the way up to like 19 point something yards for Jalen Lane in this, where you would almost have a 100% edge on the current number with all this. So again, it's not just me that thinks that Lane is going to not get completely phased out here, but also that all these projection systems have him over this really, really low number of 10.5. So we're going to play over on that as well. We're going to stick here in the receiver market, but we're not going to go to, it is flipped. Okay, that's fine. So it went back to 5.5. It was at 6.5 at plus money, where I really liked the 6.5 at plus money here on Rashee Rice. We see him come back in the first game back, gets 10 targets, and doesn't even play in the fourth quarter because they were beating the Raiders so incredibly badly. I think we see every bit of that kind of like 9-10 targets again for Rashee Rice. I do like the over on the 6.5 at plus money, not necessarily on this huge juice right here of the 5.5. So it seems like this is going to toggle. Again, literally right before this video, this was 6.5 at plus money. So I'm guessing they'll be doing that. So just kind of monitor this or shop around, as we always say, and take a look at that. But Rashee Rice, I imagine to be is trying to still get back into this offense, work him back in, make him feel comfortable as this team makes yet another run towards a Super Bowl. So give me the over on the plus money 6.5. For Rashee Rice. If you can find a 5.5, obviously with less juice than the 150 that you feel comfortable playing, I think that's fine too. But I really liked the plus money one, so we'll see if that one pops back up as well on that. Guys, a reminder too, over here at MGM, they do this thing here with the first touchdown score where you get the second chance. And so you can see if you place a first touchdown bet in your you actually get your stake back if your pick scores second instead. So it's pretty cool that they do that. So something over here at MGM that's a little bit unique from some of the other books out there. You get a second chance on those first touchdown bets as well. But again, sitting at 11 right now, this has come down. Money on the Commanders. I think people thought that this got a little bit too out of hand. Got all the way up to 13, 12 and a half's gone, 12's gone. You can see even the 11 and a half's gone now down to the flat 11. If there's some sort of really late push, late money thing on the Chiefs, and this does push back towards that 13 number, I'll probably have a piece of the Commanders then at that point, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I think people saw that we got a little too out of hand here. Marcus Mariota can hold his own there in that one. So just going to be a player prop market for me in this one. We're going to go into that passing deal. We're going to go in Marcus Mariota, play the over 189 on him, and on the receiving side of things, over on the Jalen Lane, believing that he is not going to get completely phased out of this offense. So the over on 10.5 with Jalen Lane on the receiving yards, and then we're going to play Rashee Rice. We're going to wait for that to get back 6.5 and plus money. Or if you can find a lower juice out there on the 5.5, of course, playable as well. Guys, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button down below. Let us know in the comment section how you are going to play this one. Not the greatest betting game. The Chiefs seem to be hitting their stride. You got Washington backup quarterback, defense that is certainly suspect and things like that. So not the greatest betting game here on a Monday night, but really one that we can pay attention to heavily and see what this Chief team looks like. Because we didn't get the full snapshot last week of this Chiefs team. They didn't even have to play in the fourth quarter. The Raiders were a complete no-show. I don't think the Commanders no-show here in this one, so we can see what the Chiefs are fully made out of. Good luck on all your Monday Night Football bets.